police officers by the door, and I bounce off the bed, through the window, second floor flat, hit the ground, and there's police everywhere, and still go under the bush and gone.
You've left. Flash. This is the new Flash. Whoa.
Because when you're on them drugs, there, you feel like Superman. Yeah. No one can do anything to you. Yeah. You actually feel. So imagine when from 13 and throughout my years, this stuff was making me feel like I'm untouchable.
Alright, so we're back with another episode on Hype Talks with Hazzy. And as you can see, I'm here with the elegant, the magnificent, and obviously, as you not know, my man's got his demons at the back, but now he's a fresh. Look at his fade. Tell us who you are, bro. Introduce yourself.
Dwayne Nathan Jack, a mastermind mentor, motivational speaker, and educator in human potential.
Jeez! Dwayne Nathan Jack. I like that. Shit, that's our brand. So, bro, listen, I want to know, right now you're smiling, but it wasn't always like this, was it?
Nah.
Okay.
It wasn't.
Yeah, let's say Colgate needs to sponsor us, bro. I'm telling you, Colgate needs to sponsor me and him. But listen, bro, chat to me. Early childhood, I want to know. Start off, man.
So, early childhood was, it was my first memories. My mum, my dad were there, and then he went, new wife, new life.
So sorry to interrupt you, just go.
Yeah.
No. Before we get into your early childhood, just give us a little rundown on where you grew up, where you're from.
Yeah.
And just want to know before we start, where are you from? Where are you from?
So I'm now.
Yeah. No, originally back in
originally. So Slough. So I grew up on Britwell Estate in Slough.
Okay, Slough. So now before I interrupt you, is Slough a part of London? Yes or no?
No.
No, innit?
No.
So all those people that think Slough's a part of London, let's cap.
Yeah.
Slough's not a part of London, you heard it from the man.
It's overflow, isn't it? It's overflow.
So anyway, chat to me, growing up in early days, go on.
Yeah, so early days, mum was doing crime, bud and cheese, credit card fraud. Mum's boyfriend would be selling drugs, A, B and C. So I was pretending to play Sega Mega Drive, but listening to all the content. And by the time I was 7, 8, I was a problem, behaviour problems. So then I start smashing my mum's windows, A, B and C, and just doing crazy stuff out, getting in trouble because I had behaviour problems. And then I was in the care of local authority from foster care to children's homes. But before, let me take it back a little bit.
You take it.
So I remember when I was about 3, 4, 5 years old, and I remember even my old dear giving me a tool to get rid of. She'd say, "Oh, go and put this in the drain up the thing," and it ended up being like a murder weapon. The guy got convicted with it.
Who said this? Who told you to put it away?
My old dear, my mum.
No way.
Yeah. So I remember at a young age doing little bits, putting the thing down the drain, A, B and C, and then she'd go out raving, leave us with the babysitter. So at a young age, all I wanted was obviously mother's love. Are you with me? I didn't get it. So then that's where my behaviour problems come in, where I became a problem in school, and just becoming a problem.
So now you just said that you didn't get your mother's love. If you don't mind me asking, your dad, father figure, was he present or not?
Nah, he weren't around
at all.
Yeah, at the beginning, I think about 4, 5, and then he left. Yeah, new life. So new wife, new life. But so you just said that you never got your mum's love at the start. So growing up, do you think you were too afraid to say that you want your mum's love? Is that why you expressing it in different ways? No, I don't think you don't know at the beginning. You don't know that's the ingredient that you're missing. Do you understand? It's only later on in life that you put two together and you realise that that's what every child needs. They need that nurturing, they need that love, that praise, that encouragement, A, B and C. And it wasn't there, hence that was the trauma and the driving force to my life of what it ended up being.
Okay, so now you just said that your mum was telling you to do certain things, like for example, put a murder weapon and go to the clubs and stuff. So at this point of time, when your mum would go to, for example, you just said clubs and like partying and raving.
Yeah.
How long would that duration? How long would you stay with a babysitter for?
Sometimes it would be from like the Friday to the Sunday, and then I even call the police.
What?
They call the police looking for my mum. Do you understand? Report her missing.
And where was she? What was she doing?
Then she'd be about clubbing and doing whatever she's doing. So there's me and my siblings were the babysitters, and then that's how I ended up just drifting off into the streets with the olders, and then getting involved with drugs, crime, A, B, and C, because that wasn't present at home, and that's what goes on within the generations today. Do you understand?
Yeah. So now, talking about you going into the streets, what age would you say you entered the streets?
You might think I'm exaggerating.
No. Yeah. You listen, bro. I completely believe you.
But it was around 4 or 5 years old. I was blasting. I was stealing things. Yeah.
When guys are supposed to be doing mother care, my man's actually making sure that people's mother care.
I was stealing. I was going into shops. Like this local shop, and I remember going in there, stealing these little owls, these little ornament things, going in the bush, hiding it, going over, getting another one, then coming back, and then have a few of them, and then knocking at the door asking, "Oh, do you want to buy that for £1?"
Right.
Yeah, at like 6 years old. So I had that kind of entrepreneur
Lord Sugar vibes right there.
From young. Are you with me? So that criminal burgling schools at like 8, 9 years old, and the police come into the house, and me and my brother coming down with a pillow on our face because we were just laughing. Do you understand? So we had to put a pillow over our face so we didn't start laughing at the police. Are you with me?
So you just said your brother.
Yeah.
Was he younger or older?
Older.
So was he involved with you as well at the time?
Yeah, at the time, at the beginning.
And then you just slowly drifted away into it. So from burglaring, when did it take a little leap? When did it jump from just small little robberies, small little thefts? When did you make that first? When did you start getting involved with the olders? When did they come about? Because obviously, if you're doing certain things like that, you're going to be attracting certain people. Are going to be thinking, "Rah."
So, I was about 12, 13 when the olders I would want to come out and make money, but then they wouldn't. They said, nah, you're too young. So there was a lot of time they wouldn't let me come. But then they see me getting a little bit bigger, and then I say, 12, 11, 12, and then obviously they knew that I was a bit of an asset.
In Slough?
Yeah.
So they saw you and they started thinking.
So I was in the West End
of
London with certain olders that were taking me there with a mouthful of bags and bones. Yeah, that's crack, heroin, at a very young age. Do you understand? These are the times we didn't even have no phones. Are you with me?
Yeah.
That's when some people have pagers.
Okay.
Yeah? So it's going back before they even had phones. Wow. So it was in the West End, and that went, so I was like 12, 13, and he was like 23, knocking the door for me. Are you with me?
That's crazy, bro. And I've watched your other episodes, and you said that an older, when you were 13 years old, introduced you to crack.
Yeah.
Can you please explain that?
So I was, I must have went out. We went out, obviously had money, and then gone to, I think we went and bought garms, come back to the place. And I used to see them because we'd make money, and then like big money. And then I'd see him and he'd stop in a taxi on the way back, and I think, what's he doing?
Like, when you mean big money, what do you mean big money? How much are we talking?
Well, I would say £10,000. I'm like 12, 13.
You're making £10,000 at 13?
No, I'm just saying, for instance, say it was like £5,000 with liquor move, and then we'd be in a taxi, and then as we're going back in the taxi, he'd stop. So he'd give me my money. I'm like, so I'm 13. I've got to say, even if he's bumped me, so he's only given me £1,000, but still that was enough. I'm like, he's stopping in a taxi and going in the flats. And then when he comes out of the flats, he jumps back in the taxi, and then he's stopped, gone in somewhere, and then he's moving all para. So I didn't know at the time. But he was obviously smoking, because back then it was in the 90s, late 90s, 2000s. So crack just come over. So then these guys will make big money, be in there like iceberg, jean jacket and jeans, Gucci loafers, tailored blazers. Like, and I used to look and think, I want to be like that. Garmed off. So then when I started moving with them, I realised they'd be smoking crack and smoking £50 spliffs, going to the jungle one, and just before garage came on the scene. So then they're going garage, jungle, and they're smoking big crack spliffs. So then when I've made money one time, I've gone back to the house. One of the people there didn't have no dough. So where he didn't have no money, he knew I had money, and they're smoking this thing, and he said, here, I'll try that. and I tried it, and it blew off my head top. I was 13, and he passed me the crack pipe.
We need to talk about this, because this is something I want to deep dive in.
Yeah.
When I was watching your podcast from before, I would talk about this. For all those people that don't know crack, I've got one question starting. Why at the time were your elders or you lot not smoking green? Why were you not smoking weed at the time?
No, there was.
Okay.
They was, but remember, back in the 90s, late 90s, when crack come over, that was the thing. People would smoke it in spliffs.
Oh my God. Oh.
And smoke it in spliffs and go to jungle raves, and there'd be all designer clothes, chapses, gold chapses, chains. That was the fashion. Now, times have changed, so now you see homeless crackhead people, but that back then it wasn't like that. When it first come on the scene, Money Man would be smoking it.
Crack was glorified then.
Yeah. Back then it was different.
I saw it when you were 13. Your brain's not even developed.
Exactly.
So I want to know, when you're smoking a crack spliff, can you tell me the effects? Because I've never done crack. I don't want to do that, but I want to know from a perspective.
Yeah.
For all those people that do smoke the green, smoke the loud.
Yeah.
What's the difference for all our viewers? I want to know.
Let me tell you something.
Go on.
It's just all those people that sniff cocaine. It's Friday today, and then they go past that period, that social thing where they're drinking, and then they're isolating, whispering, and there's people in the toilets, and then there's some in the front room, and they go in, and then they get all paranoid and start getting all psychosis. It's the same as cocaine, basically. I've sniffed cocaine before and got high just like crack. It's exactly the same, but it's just obviously a faster release of it.
Were you addicted? Did you get addicted?
Yeah, of course. It was a driving force to most of my madness throughout my life. Most of my madness of when people are pulling out straps on me, or doing whatever, and I'm jumping out second floor flat windows because there's police, and jumping out like I'm Superman. Jumping out, the police have come to the door, and she's saying, he's in the bedroom, and I literally, the police officer's by the door, and I bounce off the bed, through the window, second floor flat, hit the ground, and there's police everywhere, and still go under the bush and gone.
You've left?
Left.
Flash! This is the new Flash! Whoa.
And when the police actually arrested me, they said, we've caught Superman now, because they caught me a few months later. Because they had police all outside the flat. They had police at the door, surrounded the whole thing, but I jumped through the window. When I drove past the flat a few days later, there was like a hole in the window, and it like a body couldn't even fit through the window.
But I wanna know this now, because you're talking about jumping. This is mad Superman shit going. You know what I mean? Like, this is baffling my head up. Yeah, he's doing some mad. This is some mad like kangaroo Australian shit going on. I want to know, when you've got that adrenaline rush.
Yeah.
How do you? It's flight or fight, right?
Yeah, of course.
So how do you like have that conscious decision of, I'm gonna jump out of a fucking window? Yeah, you're gonna jump out of a second floor window. Police is there.
Yeah.
The chance of you even being assaulted or being wet, like the police is mad. How do you not get shook? How do you just do it?
You don't, because when you're on them drugs there, you feel like Superman. Yeah, no one can do anything to you. Yeah, you actually feel. So imagine when from 13 and throughout my years, this stuff was making me feel like I'm untouchable, invisible. That's what it done, and that's why there was so much chaotic, crazy stuff that I went through for a big period of my life, trying to obviously break the chains. And that's why I ended up obviously nearly losing my life a few times, and obviously taking other people's lives and A, B, and C. Are you with me?
So do you think if you didn't have those sort of drugs, like let's just say you didn't take crack,
yeah,
do you think you could have still done the same things that you did, or do you think no, it wouldn't have been the same?
I would have, but I would have been probably more sensible. I would have minimized the risks. I would have still gone down the same way, but I would have probably been more sensible in the criminal world, because I would have been more calculated and strategic with crime, A, B, and C. But because of the drugs,
you were just rational.
Rational, impulsive, and that's why a lot of people had the advantage of me when I was in having war with people, A, B, and C, because them man are making money. I'm making money, but then I'm smoking and my head gasket's popping, so they're having a little bit advantage on me because they're moving with teams and A, B, and C. You with me?
So would you say you were like a one-man team?
Yeah, one man team, because when it come to shit hitting the fan, no one was there for me. That's why I had I didn't have no love for anyone. Do you understand? And even today, I have good people around me, but they're good people, and we're in a different world now.
Yeah.
But when I was in that world, I realized that it's an illusion. Yeah, you're living an illusion. Yeah, there's no way out, and it's dog eat dog, and it's. Now I'm awake. I actually look back and I think, do you understand?
Yeah, like what the fuck?
Yeah, what was I doing? What was I on? Do you understand? Because it's a complete different world, and people look at me from that world like I'm a madman now. Well, they've always looked at me like I'm a madman. But there's one story. So the guy that I tried to help and bring over into this world, he said, I like how
he says this world. Like this is some mad Harry Potter shit going on. Muggles, and then we've got their world. I'm entering their world. Yeah. Carry on, my brother.
Yeah. So the world, I tried to call him over to this world, and he came over, but he didn't want to carry on the journey in this world, because obviously you have to peel layers of the onion off to come to the core of who you truly are. Are you with me? But some people don't want to go there because that shadow's too, you know? So I called him over. I'll go and try and help him and say, come. And he said to me, them man are saying that you've gone mad. You've gone this, that and the other. Because obviously I'm doing a positive thing and saying, yeah, you've turned preacher and all this. These men are all saying that. I said, okay. I said, I said, when I was a madman, going through people's doors and doing that crazy stuff on the roads, what did they call me? He said, a madman. I said, now I'm doing positive things, changing people's life. What are they calling me? Madman. I said, so who's the madman?
People are always going to have something to say regardless of what you do. That's the thing. So when you're saying you were walking, like you were saying it so casually that you're breaking people's doors, that you're just going in. Have you I watched this thing where you were saying that you had encounters, like when you were in Slough especially, did you used to like rep for like areas, or no, not really? Was it more about making money and just what was it about? Chat to me about that.
Nah, it was more making money. It weren't all that like now within society now with these postcodes and A, B and C taking people's lives for clout and all that nonsense. It was more people would go out, would make money, and we may get into stuff because obviously he owes money for this or that or whatever, or he's took advantage or took liberties. So it wouldn't be postcodes.
It wouldn't be about it. It was more about money.
Yeah, making money.
So I remember listening to a podcast and he said someone owed you money and you saw him and then he brought loads of people and then you had like a whole encounter.
Okay, yeah.
What was that about?
So basically what happened, I had a girl, I just got out of jail, so I'm trying to hold it down and behave myself. So I had a job, but then I was selling drugs on the side and someone had the line A, B and C, and then whilst I was at work, when I've come back, my missus, girlfriend at the time, she worked in the bookies. So as she worked in the bookies, I finished work one day and she rang me and she says, the bookies has been robbed. And I said, what? And I said, what? As if in, it's my bookies, it's my move. Do you understand? It's like, I was like, what do you mean? What do you mean? So, and then she said, yeah, it's been robbed. So when she come back, I said, what were they wearing? What did they look like? What trains were they wearing? A, B and C? Because I knew it was an inside job. I knew. But she didn't let off. She said, oh, yeah, this Asian, just making up, bullshit. Blowing bubbles. Yeah.
Shit.
So then all of a sudden, her and her friend, she's with her friend. And they said, them not going out raving tonight. Go and, why don't you go with them or whatever? So I said, yeah, let me check, let me see. So
she said that to you?
Yeah, her friend.
Oh.
Yeah, her friend. And her friend, I'm friend with her brother A, B and C, this, that and the other. So anyway, long story short, I've called them man up and said, yeah, and they're going to Elephant Castle, going out raving, some garage thing, or I've gone. When I've gone there, we started raving, doing what we're doing, gone back home. In the morning, my girls come and said, it was them that robbed the bookies. And she set it up.
Who set it up? My
girl, supposed girl.
She set it up?
She set it up. Are you with me?
Women can either be a man's greatest, they can get a man to be greatest achievement, or it can be the downfall as well.
Exactly that. And that's why from then I had some, I was at it with these people. I demanded money and I was at it tit for tat, and he chopped me, I chopped him, he stabbed me.
Well, so you're telling me your girl said to you, yo, these were the guys, so you being you went up to them and said you want money?
Yeah.
For no reason, just
because. What do you mean for no reason?
But
it was with the mindset of the old me.
Yeah,
it was a violation.
Okay,
do you understand? I'm obviously talking from the old me now.
Did you used to take things very personal back in the day then? Like for example, if something happened to something in your area without your permission, would you get a bit like raw? Like is that how it was? Cause
nah, not that. But basically, my girl has maced me up.
Okay,
she set them up to lick the move.
Oh.
Yes, an inside job.
Okay.
So she could have got me to go to I could have went there on my own or whatever, A, B and C, and done whatever I done. But she never. So she kind of...
She's a set-up chick.
Yeah.
She's a set-up chick.
Yeah, she basically set me up to my own people.
What the fuck?
So the same guy that she called to do the job, he could have went there on his own and done it. He could have went there on his own. It was an inside job. It's just like coming into here and walking back out. So the crazy thing is, he could have done that, but he never, because he knew if it come on top. So he called someone else. And that someone else come, and then instead of them two going to do the job, they knew if it come on top, they couldn't deal with it with me, because I was a brand. I wasn't.
Yeah, you were about it. Yeah,
I was about it. So then, in the end, a bag of them went and done the job, when one man could have went and done the job on their own, or two men could have went and done the job, inside job, and done it, but they didn't, because they knew if it come on top, it's going to get techie.
Yeah.
So that's hence why it did get techie, and then there was a bit of advantage because I had 5 man on 2 ones here, but I had a team, but they come from the unseen, if you know what I mean.
Jeez, the unseen. That should be a movie dialogue. I got a team, but they come from the unseen. Jeez, that's what I mean. Yeah.
But that's
so
that.
You said that was your...
So remember, I'm 18. We're going back now, yeah?
You're 18.
This is decades ago. So I was 18 at the time. I'm having beef with them now. He slashed me, I slash him, he chops me, runs me over, mum's houses, and all that nonsense happened.
Came to your mum's yard?
Yeah.
Raw. Can you just when someone, like for me, right, when someone just even says I'm gonna come to your mum's house, that shits me. Like I'm shitting bricks. Like, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
What goes on in your head when someone comes to your mum's house at that point of life, that time? Like, how do you deal with it?
Yeah.
Because you must have some mad anger.
For me, I was so desensitized. It's a blessing. Obviously, we know it's a blessing once we get later on in the story that I'm here today. But however, there was something preventing me from taking life and getting life. And obviously, we know later on down the line of why I do what I do now. But number one, there was something. I had thoughts. My man was in my head saying to go to his mum's house, A, B, and C, after. But I never, because... there's obviously, that's why I'm a little bit different from the rest. I could have went there. I was getting thoughts to go there and do A, B, and C, but I never, yeah. And then number 2, I was rolling around with certain machines in the car where I could have got lifed off for taking his life or one of their life. So the thing is, there was a lot going on. But remember, I'm smoking drugs now. I'm smoking Class A drugs now. These men, they might smoke loud, but it was a thing where I was desensitized. I was just on...
How much were you smoking, if you don't mind me asking? How much was it on a regular basis? How much are you talking, let's just say? Was it a lot? Like every day, single day? Like a lot?
Not every day, but hundreds of pounds.
What?
Hundreds of thousands of pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
And what about mental health at this time of point? Like, was your mental health still awake? Because obviously when you take drugs...
I was gone. Because sometimes I wouldn't even sleep for like... I'd be in a hotel and I wouldn't sleep for like 3 days, 4 days. Do you understand?
Now, I've come to a little similar sort of thought process that would you say picking the right woman around you, picking, especially people, but as a man, when you've got the right woman around you, do you think that's a very important, pivotal thing that can shape a man? Do you think if she wasn't, let's just say she hadn't set you up or whatever it was, do you think life would have been a bit different?
Yeah, of course it was, because that was one of the pivotal points of my life. Yeah, 2003. I remember it clearly. 50 Cent, Many Men. He just blew. So you got to remember, at that age when we're smoking and we're thinking we're gangsters and all that, it was a thing where the music just enhanced it. Where we're in the car with guns and listening to the music and smoking and drinking, and it was. And just going back to your question, yeah, of course, that was a part of my life. But do you know what? I embrace it, and I'm appreciative of that experience.
Gratitude.
Yeah, gratitude to all the people. I got no enemies. The only enemy is the one within. Yeah. And even the people that have harmed me, A, B, and C, I got no enemies. And it was only through these experiences that made the layers come off for me to get to who I truly am underneath the bravado and that image and that falsehood that many are still in. You with me? So I'm fortunate from that painful experience, there was fertilizer in that experience to enable me to grow to be the person that I am today. Are you with me?
Yeah, 100%. And the way you speak as well is very articulated, very, very expressive. I like that. It's just the hand movements. I love all of that, man. It's good because the way I see you now, I can see you've kind of grown from that, like learning. It was a learning curve for you, and you've grown, and you've only shown a better side of you now. But I want to know, when you're talking about 2003, I was 1 year old, by the way, 2003. I was one. Yeah. I want to know, you said guns. Yeah. Normally people think in the UK there's not really any guns.
Yeah.
Do you remember the first time you held a gun in your hand?
Yeah. I weren't really a gunman like that. Yeah. Okay. But at that precise time when all that was going on, and obviously my mum's house, A, B, and C, then I obviously...
Can you give me like a runner? Because you said your mum's house. Is there like a certain specific time where, is it the same guys that?
Yeah, the same time, same event, just the one event. Do you understand?
Yeah. So the guys came to your mum's yard.
Yeah, because I was at the place. We were tit for tat. I was at the place, pool place, Green Man, I think it was called, and then we're playing pool, and certain man said, "Oh, them lot are coming here." Them man that I was having it with at the time. I said, okay. And then I've gone to go toilet. I put my hand in my pocket and there was a knife in there, a borer in there, in my pocket. So as I put my hand in my pocket, I thought, someone put it in there because they knew these men were coming. So as these men came in, one of them, there was two of them that were obviously I was having it with, yeah. And then the other two, I started playing pool with one of them. And I'm playing pool for like £50 or whatever, but then I've looked around. My balls is I only need one more shot and the game's mine because I've just cleared it up. And I've looked around, and this guy's literally moved the ball. He's moved the ball when I weren't looking, trying to mug me off because these two that I had it with before. So then, what happened? I've obviously got violent with him, took him outside, and then blew his face out. And then when I've come back in, I've got the knife still in there. So when I've come back in, I thought I'm gonna kill two birds with one stone now. So my man. Then I obviously opened up his face.
Can you like I think like normal people, we open up sandwiches, we open up toast. Yeah. You're saying we opened up flavor. It's so common. Yeah. Can you explain that feeling? First, when you slash someone, I want to know this.
No. There was no feeling because I was desensitized. It wasn't. Do you understand? I was desensitized, drugs and alcohol. So when I'm sharing these stories here, this was the reality of my previous life when I was there. So I can't even comprehend that world now. I can't even feel it. I can't even imagine it.
You were so numb.
I was so numb. It was just a driving force of just trauma. Hurt people.
And was that and you know when you said you just slashed his face open?
Yeah.
Did you get nicked for that?
No.
Just go.
No.
Wow.
That's what happened. Even when we were warring, he chopped me in the head with a machete.
Yeah. Where was this?
This was outside Rems.
Okay.
Yeah. So he chopped me in the head with a machete, and I'm swimming in my own blood, and I could smell it. It was in clots, and I couldn't even move my body. My whole body was like paralyzed. I was just drowning in my blood.
You were taken to Hillingdon Hospital, weren't you?
Yeah, and that's
That's mad.
Yeah.
You were swimming. You were drowning in your own blood. You could smell it.
I could smell it. Like I thought I was gone. I thought I was dead. I was at the hospital, and I thought I was gone, finished, because I couldn't feel any of my body, and I just obviously wanted to say bye to my people when they come. Yeah.
And then, how long were you in hospital for?
I think possibly a couple weeks. I think I discharged myself from the hospital.
You discharged yourself?
Yeah, I was that crazy. I had a fractured skull, bleeding to the brain, and then I was back out committing crimes. And then my people would call me and say, "What are you doing?" Because there's description in the paper, 2 men balaclavaed, one with a limp. Because when I walked, I was chucking my leg out. Yeah, I had been driven by that dark force.
Mad.
That's why I know it was all written anyway. Do you understand? Because the work that I'm doing now, it was all written. I couldn't get taken out the game. I couldn't. The amount of time I had the car run over me, bruv. Yeah? There's them man are saying, he's saying reverse over him. But the driver won't reverse over him. So he's got in the car and he said that he was aiming for my head. Yeah? He's aiming. I've got this on footage. Yeah?
No way.
Oh, yeah. We're doing an interview, me and my man. Yeah? That done it to me.
What?
Yeah, I've got an interview. He's in Jamaica.
Yeah.
And we're doing we're an interview. Because I forgive him anyway. I forgive anyone that's done. And he's reversed over me. The car, boom, boom. Farnham Road petrol station. Texo, there. Yeah, on the forecourt. Because when we were getting chased, and I got a driver, but this driver don't know the area.
Yeah.
And I'm telling him drive, and then anyway, he's got to Farnham Road roundabout. He's gone onto the roundabout, and he's crashed. So then we've got out. I've run out and run to the petrol station forecourt because I've got these lot are on me. And then when I've got there, I've jumped in the car, someone else's car. I've jumped in it, and then they've jumped out with their keys. And then I was on the forecourt fighting, and then obviously I was gone.
And
I woke up in the hospital, but then obviously the car, they tried to get me into the car, into the boot, but I was too heavy. He's even in the interview, he said, your body was as heavy, we couldn't lift it up. Wow. And then they reversed over me.
So you've survived death. You've survived death.
Multiple times. Does death still fear you? Like, do you still fear death? Nah, I don't fear death anymore. I don't fear anything. I don't fear no man. I don't fear. The only person I fear is God. And that's why I'm obedient now. You with me?
So if you could go back right now, what advice would you give to yourself?
What advice would I give to my
younger self? Yeah.
My advice would be to treat others how you'd want to be treated, because there's universal laws, and the universal laws is if I do something to Steve, it will be done unto me by Bob. So then I have to just serve and do as much goodness as I can, because when I do goodness will come to me. It's universal laws. So I say, be conscious of your thoughts, your feelings and emotions, because your thoughts, feelings and emotions is creating your reality. So get intentional with your feelings, because your feeling is the paintbrush of your reality. That's what I'd say. So stay awake. Don't fall asleep. So now, you know, I was noticing this. I'm sorry to bother you. You know this part here. Is that a stab wound? Yeah. Did you get cut? Yeah, so when I was on the floor, when he chopped me in the head with a machete, when I was on the floor, he's come and done my face because I stabbed him in his face. Are you with me? This is like a raw. Yeah, I know what you mean. So because he was in the club like that, I'm in there, and people are there. He's got a big wet on his face, and then I'm there, all fresh, sweet boy, and I'm there. And then he's obviously done me. So when I was on the floor, he's come and done my face as well. No way. Yeah way. Raw. So he's taken the pretty boy with a slash, and now from that pretty boy you went to like a rough bad boy, and they saw it and they're like, raw. Can I got a question now? We've spoken about your background from your past. Yeah. And now, you know the way you are, you're saying that you had like, I can tell already by the way you are. Were you always, you know how you're smiling right now, were you smiling always? Were you quite happy? Nah. Listen to this one, yeah? My psychologist, when I was in Onley, So Only's a prison near Rugby, yeah. So when I was like 8, I was from 18. I got 3.5 years from 18 to 21. I was in there.
Is it the only prison sentence you've done before?
No, I've done multiple prison sentences.
What's the longest?
The longest I've done is 4 years, do 2. But I've done many of them. So altogether, I've probably done about 12 years behind the door.
12 years?
Yeah.
You've done 12 years behind bars?
Yeah.
And now, if you were to tell me, out of all of the prisons you've been to, which one would you say is the roughest?
The roughest. I've only done B cats, C cats, but nothing was really rough for me because I was rough and ready, and that was my life. Prison. So it wasn't a thing.
You went Feltham, innit?
Yeah, Feltham. Yeah, probably Feltham when I was younger was the worst. But obviously you're young at the time. But throughout my prison, I've been all round the UK.
Were you still doing drugs in prison?
Yeah.
Is that how you survived?
Doing drugs, taking drugs, selling drugs, phones, everything.
Did it not? Because I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, when you're in a prison cell or when you're in prison, you feel like your freedom's taken. You feel like that's it. How do you mentally, like, I know you're doing drugs and stuff, but you're still human at the end of the day. How do you, like, not worry? And I'm sure you do worry, but how do you, like, what do you do? Because I see loads of people getting jacked in prison. They become religious.
Yeah.
They don't want to go back. And most importantly, do you feel like once an offender, he'll re-offend? Is that something you agree with? And do you feel like also, and these are just questions because I want to know this. You said you went to prison when you were that young, and you said you spent over 12 years behind bars.
Yeah.
How does that make you feel about life today? Because you must be appreciating every second you get in life. Because when you're in prison, tell me I want to know, man. I want to know the environment. What's it like?
Obviously, jails it's changed now, but you're talking whether you're on the wing, there's 30, 60. Whatever on the wing. For me, it wasn't a deterrent because I lived it from 13. So I was always one of the man them on the wing, on servery. You get your basic needs met, gym, A, B, and C. So it was like a bit of a
holiday.
Yeah, a retreat for me because it was the norm. But for someone that hasn't been jail, it would be. Do you understand? So I was probably more free the times that I were in jail than out here doing madness. Are you with me? So for me, it wasn't that. But yeah, I was there. I wanted to change. And certain times when I had my prison sentences, I would be putting in work to change, going gym, reading, meditating, praying, A, B, and C. Then other times I would just be affiliated, have phones, getting parcels of heroin, selling heroin on the wings, in the jail. Got people going out on the visits there, copping parcels for me, phones, and just all that nonsense. Do you understand this? You think you're sensible when you're doing this, living this life, and then it's only when you wake up and you wake up from the coma of the nonsense that you realise it weren't sensible. None of it was sensible. Any kind of criminal activity is not sensible because you can get wiped off the road and everything gone, confiscation orders. Not that I was a big criminal, that I had massive operations, because I wasn't sensible. That's why when you asked me before, that I weren't sensible because I was smoking Class A drugs and stuff. So, and that died out as I got older anyway. I stopped obviously smoking and...
Yeah, let's talk about it. So how did you... So when you talk... Let's talk about waking up.
Yeah.
When you stopped smoking, let's just say, weed, drugs...
Yeah. Yeah.
No, crack's an addiction.
Yeah.
How'd you beat that addiction?
How I beat the addictions was tapping into the self that I am. Are you with me?
Okay. Yeah,
so from the lower self, the animal, it's like the RSPCA. Yeah, there's a pit bull terrier on the estate. The RSPCA comes, puts it in the chain thing, puts it in the van. Then the dog stays in the kennel until it either behaves itself, it's trained, or it gets put down in America. They put you down, execute you. That's what happened to me. So that's why so many times I come out, I be wild, and then come back. And then each time I was going back to prison, I would always start to build that relationship with myself, my higher self, the God within, whatever you want to call it. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So then you got your lower self, where there's obviously the animal side of you that just wants to do what it wants, and A, B, and C. So then I started tapping into, to God. the God within. Obviously, I'm a Christian, but I'm not a traditional institutional Christian. Do you understand? I don't go to church. I've got a relationship, and that is that I am. I can be an expression of God through this body. Do you understand? And that's why I just continue to just do good. And
so you're telling me that when you used to go to prison, back forth, when you were like, were you still? You said you were still smoking in prison and stuff. Was it like an initial thought where you just like in your head, fuck this, why am I smoking? Is that what it was?
Yeah, sometimes I'll be at the window and I have like loud or some ash, and I'll be smoking. Then my thought life will start changing. You know when you start, and I'm thinking, oh, why am I smoking this? Because now my thoughts are just going all crazy, and I'm thinking,
that's what I feel like.
I'm thinking, what's he thinking over there, and what's she thinking? He thinking about me, and all that nonsense.
I feel the same. Literally, me as well. Like, no, I ain't joking. Because you feel guilty.
Yeah.
You don't even realize why you're doing it.
Yeah.
You're just like, what the fuck am I doing? And it's like, I'm just like half time, like. It changes your whole
personality. Yeah. That's why in the end I chuck it out the window. I say, oh, I'm not doing that again. But then I'll do it again.
Yeah, exactly.
And then and then sometimes I have a panic attack. I'm in my cell, I smoke the thing, and I'm on remand for possession of firearms, A, B, and C. I'm looking like a big bird because certain things are happening. And I smoke the thing, and I'm thinking, I'm gonna die. My heart started going...
Yeah! Mons! You know the first time I smoked loud, yeah? I'm not even joking. What I did was, it's crazy. I smoked my loud. I'm there, and the thing was, I didn't have to roll at this time, so I used to buy them pre-rolled cones, and I used to tip it in. I'm like... And you know when you start overthinking, when you're high especially, I called the ambulance. I said, I think my heart's about to fall out of the chest. And the thing is, you know what makes it even worse? Especially when you're just a normal guy, you're not about the life, you're just... When you hear sirens in the background.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And the thing is, you're absolutely right, because with the addiction, how it is so many times when you're trying to smoke a spliff or something, you're like, I'm never doing this again.
Yeah.
But I don't know what it is. Did you also think the people that you were around kind of influenced you to do that as well?
What?
Smoke, carry on addictions? Because...
Yeah, of course they do. I remember being there, because you are the company you keep. Whatever you're identified with your culture, you're going to be doing. Yeah, and that's it. And sometimes you have to step out to then make certain decisions and choices that serves you. So then what happened? I'll be at the window like that, and then I'll just chuck it out the window. Then after a while, I realised, you know what? I'm coming out from here. So then all of a sudden, when I'm walking around the exercise yard, I'm not walking around with people, because all they're doing is talking about crime, this, that, and the other, A, B, and C. So I just started walking the path on my own, because I know if I'm there, you're just setting yourself up. If you walk in the pub, you're going to get a drink, can't you? If you go in the club, you know you're going to drink. So I just stopped socialising
with places that would get you even in that environment.
Yeah, I stopped doing that. I start calculating. Yeah, I'm minimizing risks. So I'm not going to go here. I'm not going to speak to him. And that's how I am today. I calculate. Yeah, I minimize risks. I'm not going to go and speak to this person or that person. Even sometimes that I've gone to check someone from my past, they're not criminals anymore. They're working business, A, B, and C. But then
you're still a bit wary. You're still a bit cautious.
When he gets out the car, I'll drive around the corner and I'll check my car, because I've got to conduct myself now. I'm a public figure. Do you understand? I'm a leader. So I've got to live by example, and I want to show my peoples that think I've sold out. I want to show my peoples, look, it's the way out. It's not sold out. It's a way out. Here's the A to Z. Do you understand?
But you know, like, talking about the way out, because this is basically, I've watched Godfather, I've watched Bare Things.
Yeah.
And obviously, I know I've noticed is getting in is easy, coming out is hard. Leaving is hard. Do you feel like prison had a positive impact on you?
It wasn't. The prison was a contributing factor for me to use the resource of being isolated on my own to then make the choices, the decisions. It's not working. So it was. Prison can work if you use it, but then the masses are too sheep mentality. They're not. You have to do what I done. You gotta be rooted in who you are, and to be able to walk that path on your own. So when them are raving, we're on an open wing, New Year's Eve, And there's bare lifers that all putting on their garms like they're going out raving New Year's Eve, yeah?
Really?
Yeah, putting on their garms because we're on an open wing. So the wing's open all night, yeah? And we got our own keys to the doors in a Sea-Cat, yeah, Nottingham, Ramby. So when we're there and them man there are drinking and popping Mandy and they're like, yeah, do you have a bit of Mandy, blood? Go on, blood, come, what's wrong with you, man? Yeah, jump on the blow up, boom, boom, boom. And I'm like, nah, I'm all right, yeah? I've done my partying. So I'll go back to my cell and I'll meditate. So there had to be disciplines in there that you have to be able to do your thing. Why the masses are still doing, but that only come through discipline and learning, yeah? You know, my nan used to say, Dwayne, who don't hear must feel. So it was through feeling the hard way that then my choices and decisions changed. I don't care if you lot are doing it. Yeah, the whole wing's doing it, partying. I'm not doing it. And that's what got me there. And the same guys that were saying, oh, yeah, have some money, A, B, and C. I got out of prison.
Where did they?
5 years later.
They're still in prison.
Yeah. They got moved off the wing, but 5 years later, I'm out on road and I'm walking into Coldenley to do a motivational speech. And then I see my man bopping. He should be out on parole. But now he's still in Sea-Cat, he ain't even gone D-Cat. And now he's bopping like that. One of the lifers that were there when I said, you need to hold it down. Because you think you can beat the system, whether it's in the jail, you got blowers, you're selling drugs, A, B, and C, whether it's on the roads, you think you got one up, but you went. You're in your own prison because you're living an illusion thinking that you're making it A, B, and C, but you can get wiped out the game anytime. And you're dealing with energy. You're dealing with vibrational frequencies of the law of cause and effect. So when you get woke up consciously, you actually realize that everything you think, do, say has an effect on you, yeah? You start consciously, strategically, intentionally think before you speak. Think before you make moves. You might have a run for 5 years, a year, 5 years, and then you're wiped out the game. And then your kids have got no father or mother or A, B, and C.
So what was your motivation to change? What was your motivation? What was it? What was the reason?
I had an encounter in myself. God, I prayed and then I went asleep and I was vibrating from head to toe. The only feeling that I can explain is pure ecstasy and pure Mandy because I've took every drug under the sun, but I'm in the cell sober. So running through my body.
So wait. Because you know, I actually believe in stuff like that.
Yeah.
And the thing is, a lot of people with me, they think that supernatural, God.
Yeah.
They're like, I believe that there's a whole different world that you can't see, that we can't see. So I actually do. So I want to know, when you just said that you experienced, and the thing is, I've seen a lot of people say this from all different religious backgrounds or all spiritual, that it's we believe as a Sikh, we believe it's a high that you can never come off. Yeah. And I've seen a lot of people say that. Doesn't matter if you're Sikh, doesn't matter if you're Muslim, doesn't matter if you're Christian. Is that how is that feeling? Can you describe it? What is it? Because I personally do believe you, and people that don't believe you, are cool, entitled to their opinion. But for me, it's just that they don't have that level of thinking. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody, but
of course,
I understand that there is a possibility because I genuinely feel like there is. We believe the whole universe is inside you. It's in you.
Yeah.
When you said your whole body was vibrating, you were praying.
Yeah.
Like, tell me, I want to know.
No, I weren't praying. I prayed and then I went asleep. Okay. Yeah? And that is after I surrendered. I tapped out. Obviously, the universe, all that's in it, knows our thoughts, our feelings, yeah? And I tapped out and I went asleep and I was vibrating from head to toe in pure light, pure ecstasy. And there was this pure light, I just remember. And then when I woke up, things just started changing, yeah? I was in jail, but I was the happiest person in the jail, yeah? I was happy. People were thinking, what's wrong with... They come round at 6:45 to do their roll check, yeah? I'm sitting there meditating. I ain't even got a TV. I give them the TV. I don't want the TV. Yeah, I'm just meditating in my cell. I'm the happiest person in the jail. I've still got 18 months, 2 years left, yeah? I was vibing, yeah? And so happy. And that... People say, oh, why are you so happy? Why even officers? Why are you so happy? Because you've been psychologically, spiritually, you're free. Prison isn't a location, bars and windows. Prison is a state of mind. There's people out here now in prison. Yeah, there's people in prison right now. They're free. Yeah, prison is a state of mind. And that's what I was able to be in that place, that spiritual and psychological freedom. And then I've compounded that. Even earlier on when we was just in the shop there, you're saying, oh, you're so happy, A, B, and C, this, that, and the other. It's because I'm free. I'm free, and there's that trust that all my needs are met and A, B, and C.
How do you be free? How do you get that? How do you get to that level where you're just so content with life?
The I am way. You have to put some links in the thing. I got a methodology. I put it into a program. Okay. It's called the I am way, and the I am way is, from my experiences, the science and spirituality of how to tap into yourself and to become your best version and go from ordinary to extraordinary. That's how I managed to go back into prisons, get keys to prison. Yeah, 2 years of being out of prison, and I'm in prison, and I'm walking around Felton with keys. Yeah, walking around with keys, sitting, get on the computer, National Offender Management, and I could put Charles Bronson in and go, and it would say how much canteen he's got, when his visit is, blah, blah, blah. How'd you do that? Tapping into my supernatural, yeah? Some people say, oh, you couldn't get a job. Yeah, if you got a criminal record. I got 9 sheets front and back. I was in the children's home senior position. Yeah, all the kids are in bed. I'm the only staff member there, keys, and I'm on prison license. We're movers and shakers into supernatural. That's how we get down. Dwayne, Nathan, Jack.
Jeez! Dwayne, Nathan, Jack! A man, a legend. Hey, I'm telling you, raw. So what? So would you say you're happy in life? Are you really happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
You look it, bruv. Yeah. You look like you're on a buzz. You look like you're filled with life.
Come on.
So what do you do now? Like we've spoken about the old life. What's new? What's new coming? Chat to me. What's this life saying for you? Because right now he's just like them JLS members. Yeah. Everybody in love, put your hands up. You're in love. Yeah. What's he saying now? So how's everything? Chat to me. So as soon as you come out, you've changed.
Yeah. 10 years ago, I come out of jail.
Okay.
Yeah, it was my anniversary last summer.
For jail.
Yeah, being out of jail 10 years.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
So what's life like now? Now it's just helping people get into this place. It's helping them to discover their greatness. I've got a community interest company that looks after vulnerable young kids and families. We got Road Light that was training provider to train companies, organisations, charities in personal development. And then I've got DwayneNathanJack.com is
DNJ.
That I am.
Make sure you don't sway. Being a parent.
Yeah.
Is there certain things now that you are very strict on or very tighted up knitted because you're like, okay, cool. Yeah. I made those mistakes. You're not going to do the same thing. Is there certain things that just no, you're not doing it?
I'll be real with you because I'm a realist and I bring the truth. That's why there's an open book. Yeah, because I come with it's raw material and people can learn, and that's why my life is an example of growth, a pioneer that anyone can transform, and it's possible because I've done it and I was the worst of the worst. So with regards to, I got 2 boys. I got a 21-year-old and I've got 18-year-old. Yeah. And
that's mad. Sorry. That's mad. Light skin genetics. Wow, that's mad. This man has a 21-year-old and an 18-year-old. So basically, technically, I'm old enough to be your son. That's fucked. That's mental, bro. See, if his boys take him out on a night out, I know you don't go on night outs anymore like that, but wow, that's crazy, man. Anyway, man, go on, man.
So this is obviously content now because it's all about learning with content. So I was unable to be there for my 2 boys through where I was in jail, yeah? And then that's one aspect. And then you've got parent alienation. You got parents that condition their kids that their father may be or may not be whatever it is, but you do not teach a child to think wrong about any human being. Compassion.
Brainwashing the child.
Yeah. You just don't do that because it's not gonna hurt the person that you're trying to condition the children.
It's gonna fuck up the child.
It's gonna fuck up the child.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
Wisdom. Yeah. So you've got fathers that don't step up to the mark. Yeah. Because for whatever reasons, whether it's drugs, prison, or they just haven't got the psychological capacity to be a father because they're still kids themselves. Then you got parents that brainwashed for whatever reasons, and they have that where they condition the children. That is so damaging. My mum never done that to me. She's always encouraged me. But I know because I've sat with majority of the prison population in Feltham young offenders, young boys, and it's the same story. Parent alienation. when you say, oh, what about your dad? Rah, rah, and they get that anger. And that's why you see a lot of the knife crime on the streets, because of that trauma and the driving force. They've never had a positive role model around, and that trauma of that daddy stuff ends up going out on the street.
So when you spoke to your son, was it a bit of that parent alienation happened?
Yeah, there still is now. I'm still trying now. There's still barriers and layers there where they don't tap into this resource. Yeah, I'm a prime example for young black boys, yeah, that you can make it. You don't have to be a G, you don't have to be a roadman, that you can transfer the skills. Yeah, we sell drugs, but you can also create a product that can be sold multiple times on internet. There's too many options and resources. But what I'm getting at is, where there's that conditioning, that trauma end up driving young people to think that they use that as an excuse to then go out and trap and drill and A, B, and C. So going back to the question, my boys have suffered because of the parent alienation from the mum onto me. Do you understand? So now they're not even tapping in. For the last 10 years I've been out of jail, they should have been tapping into my resources. One of them's working for me now. He's probably just finishing now. Yeah, but there's 10 years that he could have plugged into it. But he's only now coming to his senses thinking, oh, so I plugged him in. The other one, he's not speaking to me. Do you understand?
Does that break your heart?
Yeah. Does it break my heart? I've got to the point now where it doesn't, because I've evolved spiritually and psychologically, where everyone's on their soul mission with one planet Earth, yeah? And people have to go through their suffering, whether it's kids, A, B, and C. You got people in Syria, you got people in all these countries. They're in the rest. They got opportunities. They know my phone could ring anytime. Dad will be there, yeah? And I'll be there to meet them, give them psychological, and be there. If you don't want it, what can I do? But I'm there, and when the phone has rung, I'm there. So that's all I can do. I'm not fighting or straining or forcing anything in life, because where I am at is people have to go through experiences.
Yeah.
And you got to have boundaries as well. If someone don't respect you, once bitten, twice shy, or even 5, 10 times bitten thingy, you've got to put boundaries up. Do you understand? You've got to put things there to enable people to learn. But as long as you got compassion there and you're there, that's all you can do to pull one up. But then some people go throughout their life, whether it's children or young adults, and they become ignorant. So they're still plugging into that program where, oh, it's because of he, she didn't or did not do. Brush yourself off. You're 18 now, you're 21, you're 30, you're 40, and you're still holding thingy. Brush yourself off, because that same negative energy is only going to stink your growth. Do you understand? Yeah, it does thingy me, but I don't let anything. I only can do it. There's a tattoo there that says, God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. I can't control anyone's mindset or anything out of me. I can be there, show compassion, but everyone's got their life purpose. Maybe.
So what's your purpose now?
My purpose is to serve humanity through the I Am way, provide courses, programs, workshops, mentoring, and build up leaders.
Bruv, I'm telling you, this guy's going to be on TED Talks one day, bro. Motivational speaker, bruv. You should do it, man. Honestly, man. You've inspired me a lot.
Yeah.
Because what it is a lot of, sometimes I feel like, especially with social media, you can get like perplexed within your head, within you, like self-doubt. Sort of like you can start questioning yourself, second doubting yourself.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's quite common, especially with my sort of age.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to still find your path.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, the I am way.
Yeah, come on.
That's it, man. The I am way, which you gained, which is knowledge from your own life experience, isn't it? Which you're gonna be giving to others. And yeah, man, I think what you're doing is truly incredible, man. Inspiring, honestly.
Because we're living in a generation of pain, suffering. We might get up, put our makeup on, and turn up, but there's storms and there's tornado going on inside. Mental health is on the rise. Suicides. People are suffering. So the I am way is a product to enable, and people don't know why they're suffering. Yeah. But I could sit with someone, I could ask them 1, 2, 3 questions, bam, recipe's there. But then the recipe's there in the I am way, so they could go through the program or one of our mentors take them through the program to tap into that self, to enable them to meet destiny and meet their dreams. Because we're not educated within traditional education within the nation. They only want us to learn maths, English, geography, whatever it is, yeah? But they're not giving us the education of self. So the I am way is self-education, to tap self-mastery, to be able to do what I've done, because everyone's got the abilities within them, but it's obviously a recipe that you have to obviously go through the A to Z. Yeah, unlock, activate. Are you with me?
Yeah, Dwayne,
come on.
That's it, man. DNJ! Come on. And now, last but least, I want to know this. You obviously are now into your whole life. I can see that. I think I've seen your podcast before. Your support system.
Yeah.
Support system. I see that one time you had a podcast with your missus.
Yeah.
Is that this? That's not the same missus from before, is it?
No. This is my wife now. 15 years. Yeah.
15 years.
Yeah.
Advice. Someone who's so intellectual like you. Who's so wise. How do you? What is? Because you've already had like you said, you had a bad experience with a woman before where she set you up and all this. Yeah. How do you think that as a man, the influence of a woman, the right woman, what sort of attributes to someone like you look? How did you know that this woman is your wife? Like, what was it? Because you seem like someone who's really knowledgeable and you've got a lot to. So how did you know this is it?
The reason with my current wife is because she was there. Yeah, she fell short multiple times in our previous world, and do you understand what I'm saying?
She was there. Can you elaborate? What do you mean?
She was there every visit. Yeah, she was there. Do you understand? She was just always there throughout my journey. She's always been there. She hasn't let me down. Do you understand? So there was different. Do you know, in a relationship, there's different roles and responsibilities within a relationship. And we as people, we gravitate sometimes. If our dad weren't there, my dad weren't there, so I gravitated and got groomed and exploited. Yeah? My mum weren't there, so then obviously I've attracted not just wife, but mum, A, B, and C, because she nurtured.
Oedipus is complex as well.
She nurtured me and was there to be there for that nurturing and the visits and aiding financially when I was in jail, like post orders. And where she was there like that, I kind of swallowed the pride, because obviously we had our previous life. She had her story of moving bits and pieces like drugs and that on a big scale, and obviously she fulfilled my needs, I fulfilled her needs, and kind of went along the journey and got to the place where we are today. There was many times that I wanted to decamp and go, but
just held it.
I held it because I believe we can decamp a relationship because we think the grass is green on the other side, and we can also, decamp it because it's too painful and thingy. But I believe every relationship, there's a spiritual and psychological teacher and growth within it, and that can bring the best out of you, and sometimes it can bring the worst out of you, but it's all about growing collectively. So going back to the question, for those that are single and ABC, there's a lot of history with me and my missus, and it is like a Bonnie and Clyde, and we stuck with
modern day Bonnie and Clyde.
The real Bonnie and Clyde, because of the stuff that we went through. Do you understand? We obviously, that's another episode. But however, what I would say for single people, what I would say, we might even start a business, an agency, right? Because it's about a CV. You've got to do your homework, the history. Not I'm on about body count and all that nonsense. I'm on about what they've been through as a child and their trauma. Because depending on the background of the girl or the boy, what they've been through, that's going to be coming up in a relationship. So the insecurities, jealousy, A, B, and C. So
she gets you, basically.
More than likely, you've got to go through
similar things.
You've got to see the CV to see what they've been through in their life, their history.
So sorry to interrupt you, but you know when you were saying that your missus currently has been through certain things, moving bits and bobs.
Yeah.
do you feel like that made it easier for her to understand your world? Because if she'd let's just say a Lucy working in a bank 9 to 5, you know, going home, having a little sandwich, sleeping, lovely, working in like living in Surrey, whereas your missus, you're saying she knows she knows the life. So do you feel like that's helped you, because it's like being with yourself in a way, but a female version, isn't it? It's like your best friend.
Yeah. Some people say when you sound like Dwayne, because when she's around me, because the way she speaks. And the thing is, you are right, because a normal woman or thing wouldn't have been able to stick around.
Hack you in it. You're the man innit? You're like, nah.
Yeah. So you're right. It's like attracts alike kind of thing. They wouldn't have, because she come through the chaotic world that we came through, and the childhood and A, B, and C. It's like a female version of me, but she never went jail, and she.
That's like me. Yeah. I'll be real. Like me personally, like when I'm walking, like I can find someone attractive, but as soon as I find out a girl, like not even trying to be rude or anything, but actually maybe I am, wouldn't care. But when I find out like a girl just saying like talking bare hood to me, like she'll be like, some girl must have said something like, the undies are here. I didn't know what the undies were back in the, I was like, I was like, right, what the fuck's the undies? Like, what's that? Yeah. Do you get me? Or like she's like, oh yeah, like just certain things.
Yeah.
I'm thinking I can never imagine myself chatting to her. But then I've got brothers, I've got guys who will be like, I love, like obviously they're doing their things or whatever. Not like, they'll be like, yeah, I love that. Like I'm all about that. Like I want my girl to bring me breakfast and a zoo in my bed. I'm thinking, raw. And the thing is, you're right, because I feel like you attract what you are. Yeah. So if you're into a certain, let's just say, if you're a man now who's in your faith, have you also put that on her? Have you influenced her?
Yeah. So when I was in jail, I called her on a visit actually, and I said, if you can't give up, because obviously she was moving bits and pieces and that, like on a big scale, and I said, if you can't stop that, then we can't run, we can't be together, because I'm walking the straight path now. She said, oh, what if I give the line to someone else or the business? I said, nah, it don't work like that. And she said, oh, what if I just take the money? I said, no. She said, no, it don't work like that. So then she sacrificed it. Yeah, and that's another thing why thing is she sacrificed. Remember, she's pulling up in Ranges, SLK 350, Mercedes, picking me up from jail, taking me to Manhattan, not American Manhattan, like the designer clothes, suit getting tailored within an hour, going to Ascot races, picking me up, loads of money, go back to the cottage, open the gates, and then you got all Dolce & Gabbana, Armani, all fresh tags on, all in the... Hey, do you understand? Sugar baby Dwayne, I see you shining. Look at the tag, But that was that world. Do you understand? So she had all the money. She was like a wag, Gucci stilettos, Gucci bag, and she picked me.
What's a wag?
So, like a footballer's wife kind of thing. That's what she was.
See,
like.
I don't even know what that. I'm a wag, like that's a new terminology, wag.
So she was rolling up like that, shopping in Sloane Street, and she was like, so when I said to her on a visit, you got to give all that up, and she sacrificed it, and that's what's kept me going all these years, even when I'm thinking I wanna, because of that real.
No, she's real, man. She's realer than most. You're not gonna get real in this generation, especially. There's not really. Did you meet her when you were young?
23.
You were 20.
She was 29.
Do you understand? All the ladies too.
but the thing is, I called her on the visit. She sacrificed that life, and then I said about getting baptized. So then she went with the pastor. She got baptized, and then she got baptized, and then obviously I got out of jail, and then we went on this mission to do what we're doing.
But if I'm right or wrong here, you know how you said the same way you were attracted to someone from a similar background.
Yeah.
If I'm right, and correct me if I'm wrong, because you come from a similar sort of background as well, and obviously your missus right now, and I don't know if you've had this conversation with her, but let's just say you were straight Dwayne at the start, just having a little go into the. I don't think you would have met each other, would you?
No.
You had to both be wrong-uns to become right-uns.
Yeah. Come on. Yeah, 100%.
That's mad. Yeah. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
That's a love story and a half.
Yeah.
You need to talk
about deep, man.
That's deep. Because I saw your podcast and I was like the way she was just there. Like she's like, I saw her sitting next to you. Yeah. She's like, yeah. I could tell she's like, when he was talking about stuff, she was there. She's like, yeah. So I was like, raw. And thing is, she normal, like for example, like if you said to my mum stabbing somebody or like let's just say a normal civilian girl, like whatever, oh, stabbing. But because she's so aware of the lifestyle, I'm sure that shit didn't flabbergast her. Like, it wasn't like, whoa. She was so used to that sort of living.
She said she obviously see that other side of me. Do you understand? Even though there was that chaotic, that madman, but she actually saw what was attracted was she saw the good that probably people didn't see.
Oh,
are you with me?
That's key.
And obviously it was holding on to that throughout the years, because obviously I was a problem. Remember I've been 10 years thinking. So the 5 years when I was out, I was a problem. We went through like crazy shit.
But she gave you the love that you needed.
Yeah.
And I think that in itself is very important. 15 years, man. So if you had to give one advice to everybody, what is the top tip for a successful marriage?
It's just work through it. Just imagine that you're in a gym, psychological, spiritual gym. So when it gets uncomfortable, there's multiple times I've been like, I'm done, I'm going A, B, and C, and my man gets in my... But you just keep pursuing, and then as you go on and so much time, you're thinking, the foundations, do you understand? There's foundations there, because obviously the business partner as well, we've got a lot of stuff that we're doing, and it's just sticking with it and just learning and growing and using it as a teacher rather than the uncomfortable. You go, and we all think the grass is greener on the other side. That's what we do. You get a new car, you've had it for 6 months, and that you should have got the other one, got another one. So it's eliminating just the human behaviours within men or women. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Just riding 100%. Through it.
100%. Like I said, it was an honour having you on here. Yeah, you're matching the background, the blue. As you can see, my man, as glistening as he looks, he's got the stories to tell. Colgate sponsor us. Yeah, Dwayne's going to be the model for us, yeah. But listen, lovely having you. Tell us where we can find you so all the people go get you on there as well. So your apps.
Yeah. So Dwayne Nathan Jack, Instagram. Yeah, Dwayne Nathan Jack, Instagram, and www.dwaynnathanjack.com.
Yeah, and I am the movement.
The I am
movement. The I am movement, man. Listen, man, I'm telling you, if you want to see more episodes, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Hype Talks with Hazzy. I'm signing out. Thank you.